What is going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me on another Patreon video. How you all doing? Mr. AJ Focus is back. Not only is this going to be a Patreon video, but I'm deciding to upload this also to YouTube and get out the sun. So yeah, this is a Patreon/YouTube video. I decided to do it this way as well for YouTube because this is sort of a video that I know a lot of you will appreciate. There are videos out there on YouTube showing how to do this as well, but yeah, I just thought I'd make it for both my patrons and my YouTubers, subscribers. And like I said, there are videos out there showing you how to do this as well. So as the title says, it is fixing the gearbox linkages / arm on the Fiesta. I've already started cracking at it. Basically what it is after you've driven it for like a little while, not even that really, when you just get in it, it's sometimes really difficult to even find fourth, fifth and reverse. It's just really stiff. You've got to knock it a few times, just keep whacking it when it's in neutral to knock it out of the gear. It feels like it's stuck in some sort of dead zone. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It just feels really stiff. Like it's still stuck in gear, but it's not. It's a weird feeling. It's quite common as well. So a lot of people also jump down the route of it could be clutch, it could be something wrong with the gearbox. Yeah, maybe it is, but it's not. I know it's not because I've already fixed this issue before, and it's lasted about 3 months now, I think it is, without any issues. But now it's arisen again, and this time I've prepared myself. I've gone and got some real high temperature bearing grease, because you need something really high temperature in there, because obviously it's in the gearbox, it's in the engine bay, so it gets hot under there. Yeah, and I've got myself a 12mm drill piece, which I'm going to drill out the arm, just to make it a little bit wider, not too wide. You don't want it being too floppy, but you just want to sort of take a little bit off. And yeah, I'm not looking forward to getting the E-clip off though, because they're really horrible to get off. But anyway guys, let's get in with today's video, because believe it or not, I actually have a flu and a cold, and I'm out here on the floor doing this. Alright then guys, so what we're going to need to do is underneath the gearbox you have this plastic cover. It's just these little clips, you just pull them back and then it just pops off. I've put actually soundproofing in there, because I don't know if you notice, if you've got one of these Fiestas, you hear it clonking around in there when you change gear, and it sounds horrible, especially when you're driving. Sometimes you can hear it clonking, so I put a bit of sound den in there, and also this is heat proof and stuff as well, so it makes a little bit of difference. Because it's my birthday the other day, I got a new tool. Finally, I still got a ratchet, but this is an electric ratchet. Finally, makes my life a little bit easier out here working on the car. So basically, under here is where the plastic cover would be. And this is the culprit, the arm. Looks like a bit like a teardrop. Alright, there is another cover that goes on the outside that you need to undo the 4 8mm bolts. There's one at the bottom there, there's one in the middle here somewhere, there's one up there somewhere, and then there's one right up the very top, and then there's one basically on the outside of this box, which is there. That's what goes on the outside. Alright, so you need to remove that as well. When you've done that, these are the, make sure your car's in neutral, do not put it in gear, because you need to take the linkages off. Here's the linkages, and there's the other linkage. Now on these linkages, these actually twist. There's little plastic tabs, you see these little yellowy orange bits hanging down. You need to twist like that, you see, that locks it, and then twisting it the other way, unlocks it, because they actually sit inside that plastic surround. I should have showed you this before I actually took it all apart, but I'll show you once I put it back together in a minute. And then obviously just move your linkages out of the way, be careful not to knock them around too much. And then, this is what we need to get off. This is the arm. So this is one of the nipples, but this is the one that causes it mainly. Now as you can see, it's got an E-clip on here, and it's a right... I hate these things. They're a right pain in the ass to get off, they're a right pain in the ass to get back on. So my bush in here, because obviously this metal nipple looks like this, is actually bolted to the actual gearbox. It goes right through here, and over time, when the heat or the cold, whatever really happens in there, it expands and it retracts, and yeah, it's just all over the place, and this is what causes it to be really, really stiff. At the moment, as you can see, it's all slack now because there's no linkages actually attached to it. Yeah, so these gear linkages, this one here is a rubber little seal on it. You see, you just pull it, it sits on that one, you pull it and it pops off because there's only rubber. This one has a push, it sits on there, it's a push button, you push the button in and then pop it off. It's very, very stiff, that one. And then after you pop them off, you need to remove this E-clip. Now you can just about see the E-clip on the outside of this. Now there is some, as you can see, the white stuff or the creamy stuff that you see on here is what I sprayed on it in the past. That was some spray grease that I got from Halfords and my mate lent me, and I literally just got annoyed one day and I just sprayed a load of it under here, and it sort of worked for a few months, but now it's getting to the point where it's getting really, really stiff in here again, so I need to take off this E-clip. It's not nice to get off, and it's not nice to get back on, because this is, I think the bush on my bush on here is nylon. Some of them are nylon, and there's another, the earlier or the later models, I can't remember, are copper or something like that. I think mine's nylon because I accidentally chipped a little bit of it off last time. You can see where my end of my thumb is there, there's a little bit of a gap here. When I went to get this on, it chipped a bit of it off, so mine is definitely nylon, and yeah, it's a pain in the ass. So I need to try and get this E-clip off. Best thing to do is use some thin nose pliers and put one of them on the bottom here of this metal round, like this nipple, and then the other one on the edge of this E-clip, and push, and then work on the other side, and then push, and then it should just pop off with a flathead screwdriver. Just be very, very careful when you do it. Don't lose the clip. I have got some backup clips, but I don't think they're the right size for this gearbox size, so do not lose that clip. Otherwise, when you go to put this back on and you ain't got the clip, when you change gear, this will just fall off. This linkage arm thing will just fall off, and that's not what you want. Right, so do not lose the clip. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to try and get this E-clip off, and I'll be back in just a little while. Wish me luck on that one. Okay then guys, so managed to get the E-clip off. There it is there, little metal. It looks like an E, that's why they say it's an E-clip, because it's shaped like an E. So I've got it off of there. I'll use some thin nose pliers. I can show you. At the top part here, and then the bottom one here, just squeeze in very slowly on the edges. On the edges of the tips to push it out, and then to stop it from popping off, I then just use the edge of the pliers just to pull it off of the off there. And now with some prying, you should be able to lift. You should be able to pull this arm off now. So let me pry this off, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's off the gearbox. Okay, so that's what it looked like after you get it off. And on there, so this is the problem when it gets hot. Obviously metal expands and whatnot. So yeah, just give it a bit of a clean up. So you're ready for your new grease to go on. Okay then guys, so now what I'm doing is getting a drill, and I'm getting the drill piece just a little bit, tiny bit wider than that hole, not too wide. You want a little bit of resistance, just a tiny bit of resistance, and you want to drill through that a few times just to try and smooth it out. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, you need to get a drill piece to do that. So yeah, I think that's more, if you can feel it moving back and forth just a tiny bit, I think that's enough taken out of it, and then obviously just fill that with new grease. So I've got some bearing grease. This is high temperature. Don't really need that, but yeah, it's high temperature, made sure it was. And then I've got some replacement E-clips, but like I said, these are the wrong size for that sort of gearbox, so they're no good to me. But this is what you're going to need, and you're going to want to pack that grease inside there, and then inside there, and just on any sort of moving parts, mostly on that bit. So let's do that now, and then get it back on the car. So now back under the car, I'll just pack that for the grease. As you can see, pack a little bit more in there, and then I'm just going to put a little bit on here. And the ball. Okay, right, so just remember which way it goes round. So obviously this nipple piece facing front ways, and then yeah, just slide it back on. And before I do that, I do actually need to put the plastic clip, which actually fell out. There's a plastic little square box that fits inside here. Mine fell out, so I've just glued it back inside. So I'm just waiting for the glue to dry, and it sits actually inside here. So yeah, I'll show you what that looks like in just a sec when it's dried. So back in just a sec, guys. Okay, so this is the plastic little square box. So as you can see, a little ball sits in there. So that needs to go back inside the box over there. It looks like a little box. It needs to go back inside that hole. So then the rubber gaiter on there has got like a little nipple, like that, for this to sit in. So that just sits in there. A bit tight. Yeah, it sits in there. You get the rough idea. I need to just push that in 2 secs, like so. And I'll just put a bit of grease in there, as you can see. So everything is greased up and it's all ready to go back on. So I'm just going to put it on a time lapse now and then get to it. Alright then guys, so that's what you should be met with afterwards. Once you've got the plastic cover back on, that's what you should be met with. There's a bolt just there, and there's one right at the very top up there, and there's one just down in there. That's a push tab, pop that off to remove the linkage. There's linkage here, these little yellow nips here. Just grab it there with these little plastic bits hanging on, twist to unlock, then twist right to lock it back into place. Same as the top one up there, and that's just a rubber grommet on there. Just pop that off, and then obviously put your E-clip back on that bit there. Now you've packed that full of grease. Same as the bottom one as well, that's all packed full of grease. Just make sure it's all secure. Get inside your car before you actually put any of this plastic trim back on, and just go through the gears, make sure it's selecting each gear properly. Alright, so, and just get your cover, put that back on. It goes that way actually. Alright then guys, so the gears feel really smooth now, and really like just easy to move. No resistance there at all now. Fifth and reverse where sometimes, and fourth, even neutral sometimes was a little bit stiff, but now that's, as you can see, feels a little bit better. So I'm going to keep an eye on this for the next few weeks. If it starts getting stiff again, then yeah, we'll look into it a little bit more. But that should really stop it now. You've widened out the hole a tiny bit on the arm itself. You've packed it full of high temperature bearing grease, and you've put bearing grease on the other balls and nipple parts in there. So yeah, it should feel a little bit better. I'm gonna bring the car back down on the ground. I'm just gonna drive it back and forth for a sec. Alright then guys, so I've just been for a quick drive just up and down my hill, just to go through all the gears. Because I'm not used to it being so smooth and easy now, I don't know, it just feels really nice, but also feels weird at the same time. So like I said, I'm just gonna keep an eye on that now. I just wanted to get this done out of the way because I'll move out in the next few days and I won't have time to do anything on the car now. I'm just going to be too busy. But yeah, just checked it all, going through all the gears quickly. But I will end up probably changing the E-clip. I probably will get a new one, slightly a little bit tighter, I think. Because the one that's on there is a little bit of... yeah, I did bend it a little bit, and... yeah, I'm just going to get a new one and then change it over. That should just take 2 seconds there. I'm not even going to bother filming that, but yeah, I'm not going to do it now. I'm just going to go online now, quickly buy one, and then wait for that to arrive, and then do that another day. But I'm just going to go in now. I'm too ill to stay out here any longer. Like I said, I've got a bit of a cold flu at the moment, so I'm done. I've had enough. I'm just going to go in. So anyway, if you enjoyed this little video, don't forget, give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe at the bottom, click the like and the bell notification button as well, just let you know when I upload new videos. And if you're a Patreon and you're watching this because you watch it early, thank you so much for watching today's video, and stay tuned for episode, what are we on now, 5? So yeah, so stay tuned for that. I'm happy with it. I'm just going to keep driving it and just see how it gets on. If it starts playing up again, then I'll look into it a little bit more, but for now, yeah, it seems absolutely fine. It's nice and smooth and simple to go into gear now, so makes life easier. See you guys later on. Take care of yourselves as always, and yeah, don't forget, also go on my Teespring storefront to grab all the merchandise. There's loads on there now. We have tons of stuff on there. So teespring.com AJ Focus storefront. All links and that are on the Facebook group page, and on the links are attached to all the YouTube videos. So go back on my YouTube videos, go on the description and click on the links. It'll send you directly to the storefront. As easy as that. So yeah, we've done quite a lot on the Fiesta in these videos, so there's more coming. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, like I said, just take care of yourselves and see you later on. Thanks very much for watching.